Junction box splicing and switch connection, where all 3 and 4-way switches are in a switch loop. Splicing the junction boxes and connecting the switches of a lighting system controlled from 3 locations where the neutral wire is not in the switch junction boxes. The cable from the power source is a switch loop from the lighting outlet, and all the switches controlling the lighting outlet are on the switch loop cable. Light outlet. Controlled by a single pole switch. On a 2-wire switch loop cable. If the light outlet is controlled by a single pole switch on an existing 2-wire switch loop cable, the light outlet control can be extended to allow control from more than one location using 3 and 4-way switches. A neutral wire is not required in switch junction boxes in accordance with Article 404.2. A exception of the 2023 NEC, National Electrical Code, which states that if the switch loop is used to control lighting with 3 and 4-way switches, a neutral wire is not required in junction boxes, and also in accordance with the exception in Article 404.2 C, which states, with respect to the extension of the grounded conductor, neutral, to service switch electronics, that the neutral wire need not be extended if it cannot be done without removing the finishing materials. If a new switch loop cable is installed from a lighting outlet to control it, the neutral wire must be installed in the switch junction box in accordance with 2023 NEC Article 404.2 C, which states that a grounded conductor, neutral, must be installed at all switch locations serving bathrooms, hallways, stairwells, and rooms designated as habitable in the building code. If switches in multiple locations control the same lighting load over the entire area of a room or space, and that room or space is visible from a single or combined switch location, a grounded conductor, neutral, is required at only one switch location. If a new switch loop cable is installed from a lighting outlet, the neutral wire must be installed in the switch junction box where required by the NEC in buildings, but need not be extended to other switches installed on the switch loop cable per exception in Article 404.2 A of the 2023 NEC. The neutral wire can be left free in the switch junction box. When installing a 2-wire switch loop cable, the white, neutral, wire is used as the hot wire. If the neutral, white wire is used as the hot wire in switch loops, it must be re-identified and may only be used to supply power to the switch, but not as the return wire to the outlet per Article 200.7 C.1 of the NEC 2023. White, re-identified, wire cannot be connected to the light outlet if the wire supplies the power to the light from the switch. In a 3-wire switch loop, the red wire is used as the return wire to the light outlet. Lighting system controlled from 3 location using existing 2-wire, single-pole switch loop cable. The single-pole switch will be removed and replaced with a 3-way switch, and a 3-wire cable from this junction box will be added to the 4-way switch, or another 3-way switch, if a 4-way switch is not installed in the system. All junction boxes are switch loops without a neutral wire. The 4-way switch junction box has a hot, black, wire spliced and passing through the junction box to the 3-way switch, or another 4-way switch if more than one 4-way switch is installed in the system. Splicing the junction box containing 2-wire switch loop cable from the light outlet and a 3-wire cable to the 4-way switch, or 3-way switch if a 4-way switch is not installed in the system. Existing junction box controlling the light outlet using the 2-wire switch loop, switch leg, cable from the light outlet. Turn off the circuit breaker. Unscrew the single pole switch from the junction box and pull it out. Restore power. And use a voltage tester to verify that the white wire marked hot is supplying power to the switch. If so, turn off the circuit breaker and disconnect the switch. If it is not this wire but the other, black, wire that supplies power to the switch, the connection at the light outlet must be corrected because the white wire, even if marked as hot, shall not be used as the power return to the light outlet per Article 200.7 C.1 of the 2023 NEC. Swap the wires to make correction. The switch is disconnected and removed. Insert the 3-wire cable running to the 4-way switch, or 3-way switch if a 4-way switch is not installed, into the junction box. Remove the cable sheath. The cable sheath shall extend into the junction box not less than 1/4 inch. Mark the white wire of the 3-wire cable as hot, as this wire will no longer be the neutral wire. Wires inside the junction box to be spliced. Ground wires. Hot wire, white marked as hot, from 2-wire cable that supplies power. Hot wire, black, from 2-wire cable that returns power to the light outlet. Hot wire, black, from the 3-wire cable returning power from the 4-way switch, or 3-way switch if 4-way switch is not installed. Traveler wires, white marked hot and red, from 3-wire cable. Splice the ground wires. Splice the hot wire, white marked as hot, from 2-wire cable to the hot wire, black, from the 3-wire cable and insert this connection into the junction box. Spliced junction box wires to be connected to the 3-way switch. Ground wire that will be connected to the ground terminal, green screw, of the switch. Hot wire, black, from 2-wire cable that will be connected to the hot, common, terminal, black screw, of the switch. Traveler wires, white marked as hot and red, that will be connected to the traveler wire terminals, gold screws, of the switch in any order. Wires connected to the 3-way switch. Ground wire connected to the ground terminal, green screw. Hot return wire to the light outlet connected to the common, terminal, black screw. Traveler wires connected to the traveler wire terminals, gold screws. Splicing of the 4-way switch junction box containing the switch loop cables. Junction box to be spliced for connecting a 3-way switch. 3-wire switch loop cable from the 3-way switch on the line side, power source. 3-wire switch loop cable from the 3-way switch on the load side, light outlet. Junction box contains the cable from the power source and the cable to the light outlet. Remove the cable sheath. Group the ground, bare, wires together. Select a longer wire for the pigtail wire. Trim the other ground wire to no less than 6 inches long. Connect the trimmed wire to the longer pigtail wire with a green wire nut, and then insert the connected wires into the junction box. Shorter ground wire twisted around a longer pigtail wire. The length of free wire from the removed cable jacket must be at least 6 inches. Ground wires connected with a green wire nut. 3 to 5 twists are sufficient, as too many twists may damage the wire. Spliced ground wires inserted into the junction box. And pigtail wire left outside junction box. Group the hot, black wires from both cables, trim them to no shorter than 6 inches, and strip the ends of the wires about 1/2 inch. The ends of wires are stripped of insulation by about 1/2 inch. The length of free wire from the removed cable jacket must be at least 6 inches. At least 3 inches of wire must extend from the front of the junction box. Using pliers and a wire nut or just a wire nut, connect the wires together and insert them into the junction box. Twisting the ends of the wires with pliers ensures a better connection. Connection secured with a wire nut. 3 to 5 twists of the wires are sufficient to prevent damage to the wire insulation. Spliced wires inserted into the junction box. Use black electrical tape or other means to mark the white wires of both cables as hot, as they will no longer be neutral wires. White wires marked as hot wires. Group all the wires and pigtail wire. Trim them to no shorter than 6 inches and insert them into the junction box. To connect the 4-way switch. To connect a 4-way switch, remove the wires from the junction box, strip about 1/2 inch of insulation from the ends of the wires, and make a loop in the end of each wire. The ends of the wires are stripped about 1/2 inch. And a loop is made at the end of each wire. Wires from the junction box that will be connected to the 4-way switch. Ground, bare, wire that should be connected to the ground terminal, green screw, of the switch. Hot, white marked black and red, traveler wires from the cable from the 3-way switch on the line side, power source, which must be connected as a pair to input connection terminals, as per manufacturer instruction. Both wires of the same cable as a pair must be connected to either the input, black screws, or the output, gold screws, switch connection terminal. It does not matter whether a pair of wires from one of the two cables is connected to the input or output connection terminal. And the wires from the same pair can be connected to the same terminal, input or output, in any order for the switch to operate properly. hot, white marked black and red, traveler wires from cable from the three-way switch on the load side, light outlet, which should be connected as a pair to the second switch connection terminals, output. Connect the ground wire, bare, from the junction box to the ground terminal, green screw, of the switch. Ground wire connected. Connect one of the traveler wires, white marked black in this example, from the cable from the three-way switch on the line side, power source, to one of the input terminals, black screw, of the switch. Wire connected. Connect the other traveler wire, red, from the cable from the three-way switch on the line side, power source, to the other input terminal, black screw, of the switch. Other wire from the same cable is connected. Connect one of the traveler wires, red, from the cable from the three-way switch on the load side, light outlet, to one of the output terminals, gold screw, of the switch. Wire connected. Connect the other traveler wire, white marked hot, from the cable from the three-way switch on the load side, light outlet, to the other output terminal, gold screw, of the switch. Wire connected. For the switch to operate properly, both wires from the same cable must be connected as a pair to the input or output terminals of the switch. The wires of the same cable to the same pair of switch terminals can be connected in any order. To maintain consistency, wires of the same color can be connected to one side of the switch, and wires of a different color to the other side, but as a pair from the same cable they must be connected to the same terminals, input or output, of the switch. Insert the wires into the junction box. Make sure the ground wire does not touch any of the hot screws of the switch. Secure the switch to the junction box and install the switch wall plate. Splicing the three-way switch junction box containing the switch loop cable and connecting the switch. If a switch loop is used to control the lighting, a neutral wire is not required in the junction boxes as per Article 404.2a, Exception 2023 NEC. Junction box to be spliced for connecting a three-way switch. Three-wire switch loop cable from the four-way switch, or three-way switch, if a four-way switch is not installed in the lighting circuit. Remove the cable sheath. Mark the white wire, which will no longer be the neutral wire, with black electrical tape or other suitable means. Neutral wire, white, marked as a hot wire, black. Trim all wires to no less than 6 inches and insert trimmed wires into the junction box. To connect the three-way switch, pull the wires out of the junction box and strip the ends of the wires about 1/2 inch. Ends of wires are stripped of insulation. Make a loop at the end of each wire. Loop at the end of each wire. Wires from the junction box that will be connected to the three-way switch. Ground, bare, wire that should be connected to the ground terminal, green screw, of the switch. The hot wire, black, that is connected to the hot wire from the power source in another junction box and that should be connected to the common, hot terminal, black screw, of the switch. Hot, red and white marked black as hot, traveler wires from another switch, four-way, or three-way switch if no any four-way switch is installed, which should be connected to the traveler wire terminals, gold screws, of the switch. Connect the ground wire, bare, from the junction box to the ground terminal, green screw, of the switch. Ground wire connected. Connect the hot wire, black, to the hot common terminal, black screw, of the switch. Connected hot wire. Connect one of the hot traveler wires, red in this example, but it doesn't matter which one is connected first, to the one of the hot traveler wires terminals, gold screws, of the switch. Connected one traveler wire, red, to the three-way switch. Connect the second hot traveler wire, white marked in black as hot, to the other hot traveler wire terminal, gold screw, of the switch. Second hot traveler wire, white marked in black as hot, connected to the switch. Sometimes installers use other wires as the line wire, common hot wire, so before connecting the wire, check in other junction boxes which one is connected to the power source and used as the hot, common, wire. Improper wiring of this three-way switch will cause the switches in this lighting system to not function properly. Insert the wires into the junction box. Make sure the ground wire does not touch any of the hot screws of the switch. Secure the switch to the junction box and install the switch wall plate. If this video is helpful, please subscribe. Comments are welcome.